Hello, welcome back to Mosaics. I'm Holly Beach, your host with Idaho Office for Refugees. And today I'm joined by 3 Boise State students who are part of the organizing crew of what's called the Pace4Peace 5K, which is coming to Boise on October 19th. So it's a cool chance to bring the whole community together for some fun, some music, some racing, and all the while trying to raise funding and awareness for the Democratic Republic of Congo and bring just the communities together here. So I will let you all introduce yourselves, and let's start with you, Ani.
Yeah, my name's Ani Carnell. I'm a third-year student at Boise State right now, studying psychology, and then also minors in French and ethnic studies on the side. But yeah, I was raised here in Boise. I grew up here. I was adopted, so I was born in Portland, Oregon, but I've spent majority of my life here in Boise. And yeah, I mean, outside of school and work and stuff, I enjoyed being in the outdoors or just hanging out with my friends, or engaging in activism as well. And I've taken up a couple leadership roles like this past year. I'm the president of my university's Black Student Association, and then I helped create Student Liberation Collective, which is a new student organization on campus as well. So yeah, I've been involved, I would say, like the last few years. It's been a lot, but I'm super grateful for like all the opportunities that I've had come up lately. So yeah.
Very cool. Sayed, how about you?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Syed Mirbacha. I'm originally from Afghanistan. I'm a second-year Boise State student, majored in global studies and with a certificate in human rights. I moved to the U.S. in Boise, Idaho in 2021. And I went to high school, my junior and senior year at Timberline High School. And since then, I got involved in the community, working as an activist for over 2 years, advocating for the refugees, for environment, for human rights, and by sharing my self-experience and storytelling skills to advocate for other people.
Wow, thank you for being here. How about you, Samuel?
My name's Sam Bisoka. I grew up here, but I moved from Botswana in 2012. I came here at 9 years old. Originally, I'm a Congolese refugee. So we moved to Botswana in 2004 from the Congo. And yeah, this is my first time doing anything like this. I've been at Boise State for 4 years now. I'm a global studies major. I met Ani. Well, Ani and I went to high school together.
Yeah.
But last year she was also involved in BSA, and then I just found my way there, and I'm like, that's crazy. We went to high school together. She had a leadership role last year, I'm pretty sure. And this year I'm just trying to get more involved. This is my first year, even trying anything at this school. And so I'm super excited to learn. I'm super excited to put this on, and yeah.
Great. Well, thank you all for being here. Tell me about the origin of the Pace4Peace and how that came about here in Boise.
So I think this is something I've always wanted to do, to host a 5K. I enjoy a very active lifestyle, and I enjoy running as well. I met Syed last year through a speaking event. I think you know Joel.
Yes.
Yeah. It was like Joel put it on for us, and we just somehow found ourselves running together. And then someone else joined us, and she wanted to host a 5K as well. We talked about it. Eventually, she was like, "All right, let's actually do it. Let's not just talk about it. Let's do it." The next week, Ani came in. We all got involved, and it was just that we found a cause that I think we're all passionate about, and something that I think actually matters. And yeah, we just ran with it.
Yeah,
literally.
Oh, I like that. I'll give you a tagline. Thanks. Yeah, so Joel Tondo is the coordinator of our Refugee Speakers Bureau, and last February, I think it was, we partnered with Boise State, and you were 2 of the students that shared your stories, and I really liked that event, sharing stories about how you overcame a challenge or how you sought help for yourselves during a time of need as college students. So thank you for being part of that, and I'm glad that you 2 have been able to connect and work toward this together. You said you found a cause you're all passionate about. Tell me more, Ani, about why you're raising awareness for the DRC.
Yeah. I feel like the past like year or so, there's been a lot more awareness and talk and attention brought towards like different humanitarian issues across the globe. Um, and so the way I kind of got involved with them was I saw Sam had his like running club or whatever on Instagram, and I was like, oh, I'm interested in running more. And so I ended up running, and then that's where I met Syed. And then I was like, wait, I recognize you because I saw your speech and like every other places he's been and stuff. But yeah, and then they brought up, I'd seen a lot about what is going on in Congo, but I didn't really know like the specifics of it or like had any like personal connections through it. But I think that being a part of this team and all the people who have gotten involved and all the people that we've been able to reach out to and that have reached back out to us, it's been really cool to, I guess, just make it more personal in a way, or like just have those connections. And yeah, for me, I've always like since high school, I would say, have participated in activism, whether it's like protesting or signing petitions or just raising awareness. And it's just something that my parents kind of, I feel like, instilled in me. Like since I was a kid, they grew up during the civil rights movement and stuff. So yeah, I was like, of course I'll help out, and I'm glad to be here and support them. So yeah.
What about you, Syed? What draws you to this?
So we got a lot of human rights issues going on around the globe, and we see a lot of people from all across the world are now waking up and getting to get more educated about all these issues going on and how can they do something about this and stop all these issues around the globe. Since I started my activism, I got a lot curious about all the issues that I was advocating for. And with the human rights, we do know a lot of issues, a lot of conflicts are currently happening and going on between countries and between different groups, like internal wars going on in countries, and that's something I found. And with the DRC, I got a lot motivated because other big events that currently going on as on the headline of the news every day, all the time on social media. But with the DRC, there's a lot of untold stories. There's a lot of untold information that people still don't know about, and we need to stand up, speak up, because they need us to stand up and use our voices, be their voices, and educate other people about this issue, which is a really big issue, but people are not aware of that at this moment.
Yeah, this is a really good topic for Idaho specifically. I know for the last several years, people arriving in Idaho through the refugee resettlement program have primarily been from the Democratic Republic of Congo when you look at our top countries of arrival. And so there's a very vibrant community here. And Sam, can you share more about that?
Yeah, so for me, this has been a personal issue. From a very young age, I feel like I've suffered from survivor's guilt. And so like just when we were looking for a cause and just growing up, I always thought to myself, like, I'm so lucky, but I'm lucky for having just basic human rights and just having people to take care of me, or just having that support and family, and like I've been given a chance. And so just when reading up on what's going on in the Congo and just seeing the people coming here and just certain things about this whole event, I feel like it's my duty as a Congolese, as a person from the DRC, and just as a human being to kind of give back and, just pay my due diligence. Because I feel like I've been so blessed. And I think about all the kids that I knew growing up that didn't make it out of the refugee camps, that were sent back to their home countries. And then with that, they go back to war and conflict. And so just seeing that has given me like, I want to help. And this is the only way I know how to, because this is what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about fitness and just an active lifestyle. How could I share someone else's story through my, I guess, my passion, right?
It's really cool. What do you all think people should know about what's happening in the DRC?
I think it's a very it's a global issue. It's not just what's going on in the DRC. I think with, like Syed said, with what's going on worldwide, all these issues are connected, and we all have a role to play in this. Right? We used to learn that being a bystander, you cannot be a bystander. Being a bystander, you've already picked a side, and you've chosen not to speak up. And so, trying to educate yourself, paying your due diligence, and just taking time out of your day to help your community. And that's another thing we talked about recently, is that a lot of these events that are put on, it's a lot of refugee support from other refugees. We don't see a lot of community support, even though we have organizations here, right? We have the Idaho Office for Refugees, we have the IRC, but again, that's what they're made for. I'm talking about just like your neighbor, trying to play a role in helping each other. And yeah, since again, like you said, we have a lot of refugees coming in from the Congo.
I know too that I have it right here as well, that there's been like exploitation through mining of precious materials in the Congo. And I also too know that Congo it's Africa's second largest country in the world. So there's millions and millions of people who live there, women, children, having severe like environmental and humanitarian like effects. And it being, whether it's like through the process of like deforestation, like pollution, or people just needing like basic necessities to be able to like live and thrive and get on and get through with their day-to-day lives. And then I know too, like there's the history of the colonization in Congo by Belgium and I believe King Leopold II.
Yep.
And for like mining for like rubber and materials and diamonds and other resources that country is super rich in, which I think is another thing of focus is like how rich that country is in natural resources and materials, and for outsiders or like outside countries, and mainly from the Western like world coming in and mining and like deforestation and stuff. I feel like it's an important issue to bring awareness to, and I think that if more people were educated upon it, then there could be and would be like more movement towards like raising funds, just raising awareness. I think just even having conversations about it, and just learning about what's going on, why does this matter, who is it affecting, and I feel like that's kind of why like I brought myself onto this team as well, just because I wanted to educate myself more about the issue and also be able to help out with it as well. But
yeah, like you said, a history of foreign powers coming in, taking from this rich resource environment. Meanwhile, locals don't have the benefits of what that could give, and drawing arbitrary boundaries that create ripple effects for centuries to come. So
and also like having to flee to like your home country just to be able to survive. Like, I don't know, nobody should have to go through that. Yeah.
What about you, Syed? What do you hope people walk away with?
I'm gonna add 3 to 4 different topics that are all connected to each other about the DRC and also about all these global issues going on. The first one is the rule of politics. Of course, every government of each country make a lot of decisions about their country. And especially in current situation, the United States politicians are playing a really big role, and also adding the Western countries playing a big role in the rest of the world country and policies role. And it's a big deal, and that's why I step into work in the community as an activist, raise awareness for all these issues, because we need a lot of young people. We need a lot of people who are who want to learn more, who want to take a step and take action to make a solution for our all these issues going on. We are going to be the leader of the future, and we can shape the world into a better place for everyone. The second one I want to mention is the economical side of it. We got a lot of rich countries, poor countries, which currently we see a lot of rich country take advantage of the poor country, which the poor country are not poor. They do have a lot of natural resources. They do have a lot of good system to work on their economic, but when the Western and the rich countries get involved in their community, in their government, and play a big role, then they do not have the capacity, they do not have the ability to manage all their natural resources, and it shaped the community of that country and the civilians into poverty. They do not be able to get rich. It changed them from a rich country into a poor country, and also the social media play a big role. Even though they might have a lot of countries around the world might have a very rich history of culture, identity, everything, and it's the Western and it's the media that decide like how should I represent that, and they all are connected to each other. This how it makes it harder for the civilians of that country to have access to the natural resources, have access to all the opportunities they can use in their life to improve their society, their community, and get rich. This sorry,
That's
I messed
okay.
up. Yeah.
Okay.
This is how they can use all these opportunities to develop their society, their community, and make their life. But they do not have this opportunity, and this is how other issues later on come up to them, like the mining situation going on in the DRC. People don't have a really good economical situation in their life. Their children want to go to school, but they do not have the money to purchase the school supplies for them. They do need to do agriculture, but they do not have access to clean water and other resources they need for their agriculture. And that's why they have no choice, they have no opportunity available for them, and they say yes to mining, and without thinking how harmful it's for their health, how hard it's going to be for them. They just decide to say yes to mining, and it makes their economic in general in their country worse, and they do not think about that. If they think about that, they cannot change anything because they don't have a voice. Yeah.
So this is an event to bring people together, raise awareness, and also raise money. How will that money be used?
So we have a direct connection to the Congo. We're working with the African Development Community, who has an organization down there, and we get to see how the money is used. We'll be updated on a weekly or even monthly basis, and so that's how we will use the money. We're working with the African Development Community, I guess, to help send the funds over there, and they're also a sponsor for us. Yeah.
Did you mention before this that they were going to help with like girls going to school or school supplies?
Yeah, so the money won't just be used for one single thing. We hope it's used not just for it's going to be used for sanitary products, personal hygiene, school supplies, and also helping with farming equipment and just whatever the money needs to be used for. They'll spend it as they see fit, but to help the community, and we'll get to see the results of that.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that personal connection. Sometimes in the face of these issues, it gets so overwhelming. You just want to close your eyes to it because it's like, what could I ever do?
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you all are coming together and it can actually go to that family, that kid, that person is really cool. It gives hope.
Yeah, no, so that's the other thing. We want to help a community. We're not just looking to have it go to one person or one, we're hoping it's money that's used and has a long-term impact. And that's the other thing about this event as well. If we have a great turnout, and God willing, we will. We hope to make this a yearly thing, and kind of just, again, I think over 50% of the refugees coming here to Idaho are from the Congo. So just yearly having that community building event, educating ourselves on each other's histories. And yeah.
Yeah, like sustainability,
Mhm.
like I would say, with this event, and I think even just with like our activism, like going forward as well.
In terms of like students following in your footsteps or other community members?
Yeah, for sure too. Yeah, we definitely I think this project's like started out just like kind of us, and then Itzo and our other friends, and more people from the community, more friends and stuff started helping out, or they're like, "Oh, I can help out with this," or "I can help out with that," or "Oh, I can do the marketing for you guys." And so it's definitely like we definitely welcome like anyone who wants to like come participate and help out, or um yeah, I feel like too, just kind of showing that like, yeah, we're all students
Mhm.
and we have jobs outside of this, and we have friends and we have lives outside of our activism as well, but we still can make the time to like educate ourselves and get involved and continue to work on the things like we are passionate about at the same time, and still, live the broke college student life as
Yeah.
well. So
Waking up early to go make comp.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot.
It's crazy because, yeah, the one thing I didn't expect is that it takes a village. This is like, I don't know how we could have been able to do this if we didn't add on a lot more people, right? Like just starting off, it was just kind of like the four of us were able to get one or two more other people, but now we have like a whole community behind us, which has
So
been
cool.
a great experience.
And I'm so happy it's a
Mhm.
5K. I signed up for the Fit One half marathon last
Oh,
weekend,
how
and
was that?
didn't do it. I didn't go.
Oh, that's
I wasn't feeling
crazy.
good, but I was like, 5K, that sounds way better.
Oh, were you training for it?
No.
Oh,
Hey, you can run, walk,
Mhm.
yeah, like you're chilling.
And you guys are getting together on Fridays to train. Is that what I saw?
Yeah.
Anyone can come.
Yeah, it's free to everyone. It's a friendly run. We do it every Friday, 4 p.m. at the Morrison Park at the Old Tower Pavilion. So feel free if you're interested. You don't have to run the whole way. You can walk, you can jog. And if you have friends who are interested, you can refer them to us. And the goal is just to create like a friendly and positive activities in the community, and then connecting all those people together. Like, I'm really glad that coming out with this idea for this event, for this fundraiser event, how motivated we were, how passionate we were to move on and work on this project. I'm really glad and grateful that with all the energy that we showed up in the community, it was an inspiration to the rest of the population in the community, which got them involved and motivated them to ask us to join to this movement and somehow, and be one of the participants and help out with the event.
I also too would like to add I don't know if it was Sam or Itzel whose idea it was, but like this was brought up like 3 months ago, maybe
Oh, wow.
4 now. Yeah,
Mhm.
so we've been like definitely like every week we've like had meetings, or we have like this large document that's like I think 25 pages now. It's just like stuff to do's and like resources and stuff, and we'd be adding to it. But yeah, it's definitely been a process, but it's been one that I don't know. It's been a process
Yeah, it does take a village, like Sam said.
for sure.
You always
Mhm.
think of an idea like that should be simple enough, and
Yeah.
then it
Mhm.
never is.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Sam.
Oh, and we also have a virtual option as well. So you don't even have to come like directly. And also you don't even have to run. You could just donate to the cause.
There you go.
Yeah, I just wanted to include that as well.
That's why I didn't feel guilty about wasting my Fit One
Because
registration, because I'm like, I think the money goes to St. Luke's, so I feel
Yeah.
good now. St. Luke's kids,
That's
yeah,
valid.
I'll waste money on that. It's other us. Samuel, I wanted to ask you about this. Sometimes when I feel like other countries are in the news primarily for like conflict-based stories, we can totally miss the beauty and strength of the culture and the people there.
hmm
So I feel like DRC might fall in that category for people where all they hear about it might be the negative and the hardships. But can you give us a sense of what you value about Congolese culture?
Well, yeah. So with Congolese culture, it's not like a monolith. It's so diverse, and there's so many different things about it. Right. So I'm a Mubembe, and that's the tribe I belong to. But there's so many other tribes within the Congo, and it is such a big country. I mean, the languages, right? My mom speaks like 6 different languages, which I find crazy.
Yeah.
But like even that kind of shows you what the country is like. Most people you don't get the same types of people everywhere you go. And that's one thing that I think just is misconstrued about Africa. I feel like most people, when they think of Africa, they think, oh, of this one thing. But Southern Africa is different from Western and Central and Northern. It's all like, it's a diverse place, and it has a lot to offer. There's a lot. The other things is too, it's a beautiful place. Like my sister went there 2 summers ago, and she really loved it. She just felt connected to where she was, and that's another thing about the Congo, or just like, I guess, about having that home, is that you feel connected. And I know I sound like very hippish, but like you feel connected to the earth, and you feel like you have that sense of belonging, which I think is really cool. I haven't been back there in a long time, because I've lived in Botswana for the majority of my life, but I feel like it's a beautiful place. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point you made about how it's so many different cultures. What are some, like, from your family that you've been able to keep in touch with?
So, I mean, right, there's like clothing. So it's so weird, actually. In my French class, we were learning about Francophone countries, and Congo is a Francophone country, meaning they have a majority speaking French population. French-speaking population, and we learned about what are they called? It's like a group of people that really value attire and clothing, and they use that as a form of protest. They'll buy like very expensive clothing, even though they're considered middle class. Yeah, they're considered middle class, and like they're not very wealthy people, but they invest in their clothing and their style in order to, I guess, say F you to the man, or like, just make a statement, which I thought that was really dope. And I also see that within my family. My mom really values like attire, African attire, and same with my siblings, and same with a lot of the Babembe people that I know. But yeah.
Yeah, I have had the honor of visiting various African countries before, and I have noticed this dignified, regal way that people dress and carry themselves, and the color of the patterns, and it's inspiring. I'm like, if I ever wore that, I would feel very out of place, but I love it on you. It's beautiful. So I love to see that in Boise when people continue. Sometimes I wonder if it's hard to keep wearing it in a place where it's not as common. Like if you feel like you stick out, or if it's still a source of pride, like it's probably different for everybody.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's part of the reason you do it, is that idea you still want to feel a connection to your home. And I feel like, at least for me, my style is a personal thing, and I value like the way I dress, and I feel like it says something about you. I don't know if you guys have anything to say about your personal styles.
Yeah, I mean, I would totally agree with that. I feel like I was fortunate to have a older sibling who was like really comfortable and confident in like expressing themselves through personal style. And I feel like they kind of inspired me to kind of do that myself. Or I feel like as a Black girl who grew up in a white community, I kind of always just stuck out wherever I was. So it's just kind of like, okay, I'm just going to wear like what I want to, because I think that's what looks good, or I think that I like that shirt, So I just feel like for me it is kind of just like me valuing my authenticity and just like, I don't know, I would like to like reflect like what I feel like on the inside, you know, on the outside. I don't know if you get that, but
yeah, that bright and happy.
Yeah, I try. I like colors, but then I also have like a lot of dark clothes too. I don't know why, but I mean, I just, at the end of the day, like, wear what I want. And I feel like I try to, it is hard sometimes, you know, like going in the grocery store, like, going places where you feel like a little bit more uncomfortable. But then I just, at the end of the day, just kind of have to like remember like I know who I am, and I don't know.
It's a beautiful expression. I feel like I missed out on that because I was always the tallest person in the room. Like even as a kid, my dad's like, "You are a turkey among chicks." Cool, thanks, Dad. But like, we would do like a little kid play, and everyone else would be on the risers, and they'd put me on the floor, and I would still be like the same height as the kids on the risers. So I think I gravitated toward clothes as like, how can I make myself less noticeable? And I think I still have a little bit of that tendency. So I love to see when people can express, and I wish the viewers could see Samuel's shoes because they're very flat.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you have anything to add to that conversation, Sayed?
Oh, about my personal clothing. I usually keep it casual clothing, like when I'm around, since I'm very active. I
got the running shoes on right now.
Yeah,
ready to go.
Getting ready for the 5K, October 19.
Wasting no time.
Yeah. I always have like a second pair of clothes in my car every day.
That's smart.
Because I do work out different times during the day. I do run different times. And also at different types of my outfit to, like, if I want to go to a meeting, if I want to go to school, so I look nice. But besides that, I really like to wear a lot of suits. Keep it formal.
Not sweatsuits, like real suits.
Real suits, yeah.
I have seen you in suits at times. It's very sharp.
A lot of people have any event that's going on, like big events, culture events that's happening around town all the time in the past and in the future. You'll find me with my fancy suits. I got many different colors of suits. I love to wear them. And one time, the city of Boise has hosted an event right in front of the city hall. And I met the one refugee team, and then they asked me, "You always dress up so nice with your suits, show up everywhere." I said, "Yeah, I'm really thinking that when I'm gonna meet my future soulmate, my wife, so that's why I always try to dress up so nice."
Catch your eye.
Gotta be ready.
I love it.
Yeah, and when it comes to culture clothing, I do have an advice to the white community and also at the refugee community who are living there, planning to live there for the rest of their life or for a temporary time. It's really important to show up and to represent your culture clothing, culture outfit to other people who are not familiar with that. I myself, every Friday and any holiday that we have in my religion and in my country, I usually try to just dress up my traditional clothes every Friday when I go to the mosque. When we do celebrate Eid, when we do celebrate Ramadan, New Year, we call it Nowruz. I show up everywhere with my traditional clothes, and it's really important to, it's a part of your country, your identity and history that, of course, we do have mix of culture and different identities in the United States, and each of them represent a different and very diverse culture and history from around the world. And each of them, if we represent our culture, our history to a different culture, then there might be a lot of commons between. There might be a lot of interest where the people get curious. Okay, I was thinking different about this country, about this culture, but I like the outfit, I like the holidays. So maybe I have a misunderstanding here. So let me get more curious. Let me educate myself. Let's make connection with this culture, with this people, and this is how we can connect the community and make a diverse of people and population with different cultures and background.
Yeah, and it makes it so much more interesting. A couple years ago, I got to go to the Eid celebration in Meridian, and hundreds of people were there, and the clothing especially the women's dresses, was just phenomenal. I was blown away at how beautiful and intricate and thoughtful like every outfit was. And from the tiny little girls, and the guys looked okay too, I guess. But it was these dresses that just like took it away from me. It was so pretty.
That's how I felt about, I think this past spring there was a powwow at Boise State with my mom, and I don't think she'd ever been to one either, so it was our first one, and it was really cool to just like experience and be a part of someone else's culture and just kind of like see the different outfits and designs and everything.
I liked that in your event post on Eventbrite. So if you're wanting to go to the Pace4Peace, it is on Eventbrite. You can sign up. I noticed a few things that really stuck out to me. And one was like, you don't even have to run if you don't want to. Like there's going to be family-friendly activities, music and food. So is that like people can also just come hang out for the afternoon?
Yeah. We have different vendors. And again, it's not just a 5K. I know that's what it's labeled as, but we'll be there for at least 4 hours, you know? We'll have different vendors there. We plan on having little games, soccer, and just like little fun things you can do. You don't even have to participate in the run, just showing up and again, trying to get to know the people around you. That's, I think, one of our main objectives is just the community building aspect.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I've like mentioned it to a couple friends and stuff. They're like, oh, like I don't run. And I'm like, well, you don't have to run. That's the good part about it. So, yeah, kind of what Sam said, just like, I feel like community building. And I think we kind of came up with it through the event of a 5K to kind of help do that and also like connect with the refugee community here and just allow people to, engage in something that is, healthy, good for their mind and body. And also you can learn and have fun and play games and stuff. So, yeah.
That's great. Anything else you would like to add about kind of the community connection you're trying the building between the local Congolese community and the maybe American-born community here? Because this event is kind of hoping to bring people together. Is there anything that you're hoping can come from that?
I think when a lot of the refugees here and a lot of the Congolese community here, they feel forgotten and they feel like their voices aren't being heard. This is just an opportunity to make people feel at home, give them that chance, give them the chance to express themselves and also to let them know, hey, you're not forgotten, you matter and your experiences matter. We recognize you and your history and your culture. And this is kind of what we're trying to represent here.
It's beautiful.
To add on that, I would say the refugee population in general are the most talented human beings in the world, where they come up here with their multilingual skills. They come up here with the artistic skills that they have from where the new community they grew up in and from the community they already were in. And now they have like a mix of talents, skills, mix of community, culture, background. And it's really important to have to give them the opportunity to they can represent that. And also we do have a lot of white community, American community who are really interested to help out the refugee population, the other communities, other people with different background, but they do not know who to help, how to help, who to reach out to. And we, at the other side, we do have a lot of population of refugees who really need a lot of support every day in their life since it's not their country and they had to move to this country. And the same thing, they don't know who to reach out to for a specific reason they need help with, or who to talk to, and how can they achieve the goals that they have. So the goal for this event is not just for the Congolese, it's for all the people in public, white people, Congolese people, and any other refugees who's going to attend. It's a great opportunity to have them talk to each other, interact with each other, make connection. And that's how, as they get connected, there are going to be the networks, there are going to be the resources for each other. And that's how we can develop our society and empower the whole population, and also the positive activities. It's really healthy for having different cultures, different background coming together and working as a team on one positive activity going on and in one place. So I'm really excited.
It's really cool. Said, I'm curious, since you are the most recent one of us to move to Idaho, I'm curious, in your early days, was there a memory you have of something someone did that really helped you feel like you belong?
Can you hear that? Can you repeat that again?
Yeah, I'm just curious, when you were newer in Idaho, when you first moved here and it was new country, a new place, unfamiliar, was there a memory you have of something that someone did or a way they treated you that helped you feel at home?
Yeah, like the first 6 months, when I first got to Boise, since the occupation happened, the occupation of Taliban happened in Afghanistan, and me and my family had to flee and move to the U.S. And as I got to Boise and having all these challenges about culture, about language, and uh, back in home, I was almost done with the school, and moving to Boise, I had to start school back as a junior, 2 years behind, and that was a big challenge. And being worried about my relatives, my friends, and all the life childhood that memories that I had back in home, I was missing them. I was worried about my friends, and having all these challenges and not having the idea like how can I overcome this problem? Who is the person that I can reach out to and can help me with all this stuff? And it was just giving me a hard time. And as I went to school, as I got connected with the community, with the Idaho Office for Refugee, with the IRC stuff, um, it was really I'm really grateful how uh, they introduced this city as a welcome city for me, um, interacting with me, with smiling, talking very nice. I had my teacher who were supporting with me while I had a struggle with my homework, with my language challenges, and as a mentor, I listened to them, and as a mentor, they helped me, they supported me with anything about my educational side and anything in my personal life to be able to show you're not alone, you belong here. And as it doesn't really matter if you're a refugee or if you're not, if you're from US or from you came here from a different part of the world, you are the same as us, and you matter, you are talented, you have a lot of skills, and we are all equal. And we have to help each other, advocate for each other, and that's what human being is about.
Oh, thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Well, before I go on to more race details and wrap us up, is there final thoughts that you would like to leave listeners with?
I guess just
Hold on, let me think for a sec. Put you on the
again,
spot for some words of wisdom.
I think just like at the end of the day, something, at least for me, that I've been thinking about a lot recently is what it means to be in a community or like being a part of community. I feel like lots of times, it's like, oh, I want my life to be like this, or I want everyone to be happy and like do these things, but it's like realizing like all the things that goes on behind doors or that needs to be done, or that working together to be able to like make things happen. And I think too, also realizing that like we do have the power to make those things happen. We just have to communicate and connect and organize and network. And I think too, like this event is an example of that as well. Especially with young people too. I know like even myself, like I've had doubts like with events and stuff, like I've been involved planning, but then it's like, okay, well, my friend over here is going to help me with this. And then they knew someone who could help me with this. And I don't know, it's just something that I've really valued recently. And yeah, just realizing that like you do have the power to make the change that you want to see. So
Yeah, I really like how you said like we have the power because, for instance, I like to run in Boise as well, and I've always really treasured the Greenbelt and the foothills. And then some. At one point, I heard I think a radio story about how they got preserved, and it took so much work and so much vision from a group of people who cared and they fought for it. It didn't just magically happen. And now all of us get to enjoy it. And I was so grateful for these people that spent so much time and energy to make sure that these precious spaces are preserved for all of us. And it did leave me with this sense of responsibility. Like it just took human beings to have the vision and the foresight to be able to make that happen. And in anything that's important, that's what it takes. And it takes a lot of grueling hard work sometimes before you can enjoy like the fruits of the labor, but thank God they did that. So it's a cool example of what you're doing here too and what it will lead to in the future.
Thanks. Yeah. That too. Yeah. And I also feel like sometimes I feel like people are like, oh, like I don't understand like why like this matters, or like I don't want to get involved with this because it's not going to affect me, you know. But I just try to like really ground myself and just like remember that like we all live on this planet, and it wasn't like a choice of where you were born or like who you ended up being or what situation you were put in. Like you didn't get to choose that. And I mean, personally, like I believe that everyone should have the right to basic necessities and not have the problem of having to leave and flee their country because of war and because of mining and stuff like that. I just think, I don't know, that's something like sometimes I feel like a lot of people and myself, you know, forget quite a bit of the time too. So I always just try to like reground myself and like remember that we're all here and that we all can support each other.
Yeah, definitely in global society. And I think your generation is probably maybe more aware of that than any other generation with the resources you have at your fingertips today. All right, Sayed, any parting thoughts?
Yeah, sure. As a refugee, I really like when I needed the support at the moment I first got to the US. I got a lot of support from my community here in Boise. And I just want to let people that you have to always remember to give away, like when you get something, when you get support from someone, you have to be open and you have to be remember that to give back to the community, give back to the people that help you when you had a struggle. And this is how it makes it more friendly. It makes it more nice, and it shaped the world into a better place. And I'm also really grateful, like the first day of me in the United States, Boise, and then now I am advocating for other refugees. I've been a voice for other people in my community. I'm really grateful, and it's all because of the support that I got from the Boise community. And now I'm glad that I have the chance, I have the opportunity and the ability to give back to the community in different ways that possible. And yeah, I also want to end up my response by a poem by Sadi Shirazi, which is an Iranian poet, which translates in English about calling all the humans. Human being is member of a whole in creation of essence and soul. If one member afflicted by pain, other member will uneasy will remain. If you have no sympathy of human pain, the name of human you cannot retain. And this is a really powerful message to all the people that Ani share. Like, if I advocate for something, it's not going to help me. I'm not going to gain anything out of that. It doesn't really important. It's the community, it's the people, with the people, for the people. You help someone today, then a community will be there for you when you need some help. And no matter if you gain something out of that or not, you'll make a difference in someone's life and in the world. And this is really important.
Thank you for sharing that.
For me, yeah, I think we're all victims of the human experience, and we don't like both of you guys said, we don't get to choose where we're from, but I feel like we've all just been so blessed, you know, to have some level of control. And I mean, this is one thing I do think most religions got right, is that we have the it's like we have to give back to the community. And I think you got to try finding a way to give back. And that's the message I'd like people to leave with, is like, if you have something to give, if you've been blessed, if you've even just showing up is enough. Just find a way to give back to the community, find a way to help the people around you, and just support something, stand for something, and yeah.
Thank you all so much.
Mhm.
So for our listeners, I hope that if you're interested in joining the Pace4Peace, I hope you'll check it out. It's on Eventbrite. It's also, you're on Instagram. Is it at Pace4Peace?
And Pace4Peace 5K.
5K, yeah.
Yeah.
Pace4Peace 5K with the number.
Peace.
If you want to connect with any of the guests today, you can email mosaics@idahorefugees.org, and I'll be sure to connect you. But yeah, check it out. It's going to be a fun time. I really appreciate you bringing this to our community, bringing us all together. All the work and heart you're putting into it means a lot. So thank you all so much. And yeah, while you're signing up for things too, I hope you'll check out our, this is the week before our conference as well. So there's a lot of exciting things happening in October. Our annual conference is coming this year to the College of Idaho.
We will be there as volunteers.
Yes.
So yeah, we're
thank
super excited.
you. Thank you guys. That means a lot. It's newly named the Northwest Conference on Resettlement, formerly the Idaho Conference on Refugees, but it's 2 days of really in-depth learning, hearing from voices, from people who have perspectives from their own resettlement journeys, hearing from experts in workshops, things like working with new Americans, teaching new Americans, trauma-informed services, healing arts. It's a really rich time together, and we all connect, and we enjoy food together, and we hear good music, and we experience really cool art, and just celebrate the different cultures that are here. And so I hope you can join us for that. All the details are at idahorefugees.org. So mark your calendars for 2 great events in October coming up. Thank you all so much for being here.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining the conversation. For more information on how to be involved with refugee resettlement, please visit idahorefugees.org. Mosaics is produced by the Idaho Office for Refugees with grant support from the M.J. Murdoch Charitable Trust. Music by the Afrosonics. Production in partnership with SB Studios.